60 players drafted into MLS in 2020. Only 8 are still playing professionally today. 13%. The other 87% gone. Right now, thousands of international players think the MLS draft is the finish line. It's not. It's actually where careers die. My friend Guilherme Feitosa was the 11th best player in the nation. University of Pittsburgh captain, won the ACC. But when draft day came, his name wasn't called. How does the 11th best player in the country never get drafted? The answer is international roster caps. 4 years of work completely erased by a rule that nobody had mentioned. And after that, I spent months tracking what actually happened when players get drafted, and what I found blew me away. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the MLS draft is a trap and how you can avoid becoming casualty number 88. Here's what they sold you. Go play college soccer, get drafted, and turn pro. But here's a reality check for you, because after 5 years of getting drafted, only 13% are still playing professionally. This isn't normal attrition, this is systematic elimination. So where do they go if they don't go to the draft? Well, they go to countries like Estonia, where they earn $800 a month and play in front of 200 fans a game. Or they quit entirely. Why does the system fail so many people? Well, it's because they lied to you. The draft was never about talent. It's about politics, connections, money. But they let you believe that the outcome is directly correlated with your inputs and how hard you work. Guilherme didn't have an agent. Guilherme didn't have connections. Guilherme never got drafted. There was 100% kids in that draft that got drafted instead of him because of who they know. And that, my friend, is the brutal reality. It is not about what you know, it is about who you know. Let me show you what is actually happening. What they told you is that the best players get drafted. The truth: draft order, allocation money, roster constraints, generation Adidas contracts. Sounds simple, but it's warfare. Teams don't pick the best players available. They pick based on salary cap calculations. They pick based on which college coach owes them a favor. They pick whether you're cheap insurance or an expensive investment. Here's a real example. 3rd round pick, solid midfielder. His team had $50,000 left in allocation money, which was not enough to sign him and the striker they wanted. Guess who got cut? 4 years of playing college soccer and a degree in sports management. Gone over a $50,000 budget line. Everything that your coach told you about merit is a complete lie. Here's the truth that nobody wants you to know. The draft doesn't reward the best players. It rewards the cheapest players. And here is where it gets brutal. Most drafted players get buried alive. USL Championship or MLS Next Pro. Empty stadiums, no cameras, no future. You're not being developed. You are being what I call warehoused. Cheap roster fillers in case somebody tears an ACL. They told you that getting drafted meant you were good enough, but that was a lie. The top draft picks that everybody celebrates barely get any minutes in their first few years in the league. They are trapped in developmental hell. Occasional first team practices, games in front of hundreds, not thousands, watching their careers flatline in real time. The system isn't designed to develop you. It is designed to exploit you cheaply. Getting drafted doesn't mean you're valued, it means you are disposable. And nobody warned you. But some players succeed, right? Sure. Let me show you what separates the casualties from the survivors. Politics. Remember Guilherme? He had no connections when he was trying to get drafted. Meanwhile, a player from a smaller school did get drafted because his coach actually played for 3 MLS teams. Same talent, different Rolodex. They told you it was about skill. They lied. Timing. Picture being a top midfielder in a draft class with 5 very, very good midfielders. You would go undrafted, but the year before, you'd be a first-round pick. So luck destroyed your career. Position. Some players' positions are just oversaturated. I was recently on a phone call with the coach at Trine University. It's a Division III program in Angola, Indiana, and he previously coached at SMU and Grand Canyon University. He has plenty of experience of sending players to that next level to the pros. And his advice to all his players that were getting drafted was change positions. If you played in that spine of the team, so striker, center mid, or center back, he would always advise for you to change positions to be on the outside. The reason being is because that spine is usually dominated by big money transfers or internationals that have come in years prior. And I thought this was 10 out of 10 advice because it's very true. If you're a high school kid looking to play college, it's the exact same thing. If you are a center back and you are looking at a team, maybe a Division I school, and they've got a Swedish and a Norwegian center half, stick yourself as a right back and earn your stripes in the team until they graduate to then become a center back. Went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but Generation Adidas status is another thing. A salary cap loophole that makes certain players irresistible. And if you don't have it, your odds dropped 70%. They knew all of this, but they let you find out the hard way. And here's the darkest part. You get drafted, reality hits, you panic. What next? Some flee to Estonia, Kazakhstan, Norway, Sweden, all these countries playing in their second and third division. They go anywhere at this point. They're offering playing time and that professional soccer player status that they can stick in their bio. Some others just quit completely. And that is what happened to Guilherme. He never got the chance to believe the lie. But the players who do get drafted suffer much worse, way, way worse, because they spent years believing. 4 years of college, finally drafted, this is it. Then you realize you're trapped. You're too invested to quit. Not valued enough to play. Career purgatory. The worst part is that the draft creates false validation. You get drafted, you must be good enough, just wait your turn. They want you to believe that, but that day never comes for a lot of players. And by the time you realize your years are gone, you're older, less attractive, and that window of opportunity is closing. Most would have been better off skipping the draft entirely, going abroad immediately and building a career elsewhere for a team that actually values you and will give you the playing time you need at such a young age. But nobody warned them because the system needs you to believe the lie. So what do you do with this information? First, stop believing what they're telling you. MLS is one option, but it is not the only option. Second, evaluate whether the draft actually benefits your career. Ask yourself 3 questions. Do I have Generation Adidas status? No? Well, your odds just dropped 70%. Does my coach have MLS connections? No? Well, that adds another massive barrier. Am I willing to spend 2 to 3 years training and playing on a practice squad, earning $65,000 a year, while others play elsewhere in the world? If you hesitate on any of these, I think you have your answer. Go abroad now. Europe, South America, Asia. There are leagues everywhere that need players. And before you say I am being dramatic, I want to give you guys an example that should make this very visceral for you guys. Earlier, I mentioned my friend Guilherme Feitosa. Well, he has another player on his team at the University of Pittsburgh called Kasper Grenning. Guilherme went for the MLS draft. Kasper went to Denmark. He skipped the draft entirely, went to Denmark's second division, is now thriving in the top flight. Same team, different paths. Here's the reality. Most drafted players fail, not because they're not good enough, but because they were fed a lie and built a life around the lie. Survivors understood the politics. They managed expectations and they had backup plans. They saw through the myth before it was too late. And this isn't pessimism, it is survival. But here's what you need to understand. I actually interviewed a player who got drafted and now plays for FC Dallas. He revealed the brutal truth around why 99% of young players never make it pro. That is the video you need to watch next because having that conversation with him completely changed how I view professional soccer. The players who are serious about playing the next level will watch it. The ones who kind of want it and want the good things that come with it probably won't. You now know what most players learn too late, what your coaches never told you, and what the system hoped you would never figure out. Now you can make informed decisions, chase the draft, or pursue alternatives. You understand the real odds, the hidden games, and what it actually takes to survive at the professional level in this country. This won't guarantee success, but it does dramatically decrease your chance of becoming casualty number 88, rotting on a practice squad and wondering where it all went wrong. The draft isn't the finish line. It isn't even the starting line. It's a trap. And now you see it clearly.